We had a very good sermon actually this morning from Stephen, and one of the things that really stood out to me was he was going to Bugbrook Church at probably about 7:30 this morning, and he saw what he thought was a plastic bag on the floor. And when he had a closer inspection, it was the remnants of the last of the snow that we had earlier this week, and last week and the week before. And it was just the last remaining elements of this snow. And he said, you know, it kind of dwelled on him for a second after all the conversations that we've had in the last couple of weeks about making the church feel relevant to people. When he looked at it, he said, what could we do? It was being dissolved by the water, the rain coming down, and what could we do with that snow? Could he take a chunk of it, put it in the freezer, and make it last forever, and keep it there? Or do we let it just go and wash away and start again? And I think where we are at the moment with Church of England, if you look at what's happening with attendance across the board, there's been another 2.5% decline in attendance, and we're seeing this ongoing. There's a decline in attendance to the Church of England, but there is signs that that's not happening across the board. There are churches that are full, there are churches that are growing, a lot of them, and what we're seeing is that people are bothered and are interested, but they don't come every Sunday. But we've had it this year in Rothersthorpe Church when we did the crib service and we couldn't get another single person in here. When the school comes and holds services, you can't get anybody else in here. So people are willing to come to church and engage with it, but why aren't they here every Sunday? Why are they not here now? And maybe it's because what we're offering week in, week out is not touching them, it's not something that they see as applicable. Or maybe it's we are not going out to see them where they are. We're expecting to ring a bell or, set a time and people will turn up. And the reality of the world is that there are many time pressures on all of us, and it can be really difficult to make it to church on a Sunday unless you personally make it an objective and say, I'm going to be here. And there's a real challenge to all of us to make that time. And we are making the time because there is so many legitimate things that we have to go and do. And if people are working 7 days a week, Sunday is the day where they need to go shopping. So how do they make that time? And that is the challenge that we here have to help get the word of God and the message, the good news that Christ gave out to that wider audience. And it may mean things like Sunday is not the day where we have church. We might continue to do church on a Sunday, and it might be our small congregation here. But long term, we may have to change where church is done, the day church is done, how church is seen and perceived by other people. And we will have to take what we believe out to people where they are. And the question is, on a Sunday morning, where are they? And if you're a parent, they'll either be at the rugby club, or they'll be at dance lessons, or they'll be going swimming because it's the only time the family has together, or wherever. And it's our duty really to have a look at that and say, where are people right now? Why are they there and not here? Sorry? Some, yeah, I mean, with 3-year-olds you don't get a choice of having a line on a Sunday, but some...
Oh no, with the puppy.
Yeah.
He woke me up at 6:20 again this morning.
There you go. So, some people are up walking their dogs, other people won't get out of bed till 12 o'clock. I was one of those people.
Yeah.
I was one of those people on the weekend. I didn't need to get up, so, I worked all week, worked very long hours. So, Saturday and Sunday, lie in, go out to see my friends, and there's nothing wrong in that. But then to sit there and say, can you be down here at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock or even 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it's going to be a challenge, if they want to come at all. And the question is, why don't they want to come? And we need to ask that question of ourselves.